Once upon a midnight dreary, as I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, as I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. "Only this, and nothing more." Distinctly I remember, it was in the bleak December, when each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly had I tried to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, for that rare and radiant maiden whom the angels named Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that to still the beating of my heart I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door, some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. Only this, and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," said I, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is, I was napping when so gently you came rapping, when so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I'd heard you. Here, I opened wide the door. Darkness there, and nothing more. Deep into the darkness peering, long I stood there, wandering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the darkness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word, "Lenore." This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word Lenore. Only this, and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning. Soon again I heard a tapping, somewhat louder than before. "Surely," said I, "surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see then what thereat is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more." Open wide I flung the shutter, when with many flirt and flutter, and there stepped a stately raven from the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a moment's stop or stay, but with mien of lord or lady, perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more. Now this ebony bird beguiling all my sad soul into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it bore. "Though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou," I said, "art sure no craven, ghastly grim and ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore." Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." But much I marveled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, yet his answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no sublunary being ever once was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast, upon the sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such a name as Nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Not another thing he uttered, not a feather then he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, other friends have flown before, on the morrow he will leave me, as my dreams have flown before. Quoth the raven, Nevermore. Startled by the silence broken by reply so aptly spoken, doubtless, said I, what it utters is its only stock in store, caught from some unhappy master, whom unmerciful disaster followed fast, and followed faster, till when hope he would adjure, stern despair returned. Instead of that sweet hope he would adjure that sad answer, nevermore. But the raven, still beguiling all night, sad soul into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door, and then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy unto fancy, wondering what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking nevermore. This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing to the bird whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining on the cushioned velvet lining, with the lamplight gloating o'er, but on whose velvet violet lining, with the lamplight gloating o'er, she shall press nevermore. Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed by some unseen censer, swung by angels, whose faint footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretch, I cried, the God hath lent thee, by these angels he hath sent thee respite, and nepenthe from the memories of Lenore. Quaff, oh quaff this kind nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, Nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, whether tempter sent, or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore desolate, yet all undaunted in this desert land enchanted, in this house by whore haunted, tell me truly, I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore. Quoth the raven, Nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore, tell this soul was sorrow laden, if within that distant Aden it might clasp a saintly maiden whom the angels named Lenore, clasp that rare and radiant maiden whom the angels named Lenore. Quoth the raven, Nevermore. Be that word a sign of parting, but a fiend, I shrieked, upstarting. Get thee back into the tempest, and the night's plutonium shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie thy soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit the bust above my door. Take thy beak from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting on that pallid bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door. And his eyes upon the seeming of a demon that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor. And my soul, from out that shadow that lies floating on